Now, my dad, he never attended church, nor was he a member of any church. My mother, on the other hand, was a very strong Christian and devoted to her church and to her Christian beliefs. My brothers and I were required to attend Bible studies. And while we were at Bible studies, my dad spent that time visiting family members and checking on their welfare. My dad was also what they call a po. Po in Hawaiian translates to mean head. Wherever my dad went, I went. People or families that had problems would approach my dad, explain their problems to him, and ask if he had time to talk to them. He would ask them the best day for them, and then tell them the best time for him. And if it all worked out, then they had their meeting. As we went to these meetings, it was a drive of silence. I wasn't allowed to talk or ask any questions. And I believe that during this period, on our way to this meeting, my dad worked on his pono and asked for the guidance that he needed. Once we arrived at the scene, we were greeted, went into the house for the meeting. All others were excused. I was allowed to sit there, not to be seen, not to be heard. And in all occasions, it opened up with a prayer and closed with a prayer. But the prayer was not done by my dad. It was done by the people seeking help. And once all of this was done and we went back home, in the evenings, I would ask my dad as to what went on and the problems that occurred. And he would explain it all to me. And then, because of all that I saw watching my dad, I asked him as to why he never attended church. He replied to me that he believed and practiced the ancient things, the ancient ways, which meant that the ocean, the land, the plants, the animals, wind, thunder, lightning, clouds, and the heavens were created by a Kua, or his higher power, and this was his church. So he went to sleep in church, he woke up in church, and he spent all day in church. At the end of the day, he would look at himself as to how many times he failed practicing the concept of aloha. Not so much how often he succeeded, but how often he failed. And if he failed more today than he did yesterday, then he would go into his pono and work on the forgiveness. And when he told me this, my mother was never allowed to make us members of his church, for my father believed that when the time came, he wanted us to have the choice of choosing, and I chose to be a member of his church. Now, another way of teaching that the Hawaiians had is the kuka kuka, or the telling of stories. In telling these stories, we have 15 people here, and for every story that I tell, there will be 15 interpretations, and every interpretation is correct. For we are all climbing the same mountain, but walking different paths and learning different things. In the Hawaiian concept, the only sin there is do not hurt anyone. And when they say this, they're saying, do not hurt anyone mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually. Nothing else is considered to be a sin. So in the traditions of our culture, I would like to tell you a few stories. First, I would like to say that I divide the history or the culture of Molokai into 3 periods. We have modern Hawaii, which is discovery by Captain Cook, 1778, to present day. And then we have Old Hawaii, this period, about 1000 AD to discovery by Captain Cook, 1778. And this period, I'll be referring to it as Na Ali'i. Na, the plural in Hawaiian. Ali'i is the king, the queen, the monarchy, or the warrior society. And this is what all the other islands are about. There's more information about this period and the fact that America is a strong nation. It is your warrior society. But this is not Hawaiian. This is Tahitian. For the Tahitians invade Hawaii around 1250 AD, conquer all the islands except for this island. They were frightened off by the people and what we call kahunas today. And then we have the ancient period. To give people a sense of time, I say 1 AD to 1000 AD. And this period, I'll be referring to it as Ohana. Ohana translates to mean immediate family, immediate family. First set of parents, there, children's children's children, and so on down. Within the Ohana, we have the Ohana Laha, or the extended family, or brothers and sisters to the first set of parents, their children's children's children, and so on down. And this is your true Hawaiian culture, and this is what the island of Molokai is all about. Now today, the Pacific Archaeological Society is saying that they're able to trace the Polynesians clear back to the area of Malaysia. They're saying that the Polynesians were driven out from this area by the warlike tribes of the area around 400 BC, began to explore, discover, and settle the Pacific Ocean, starting with the Southeast Asian islands, and then Micronesia, Melanesia, Polynesia. Now the linguist says that the word for coconut in Hawaiian is spelled N-I-U, pronounced Niu. In Malaysia, the word is spelled N-I-U-R. The word for eyes in Hawaii is spelled M-A-K-A, pronounced Maka. In Malaysia, the word is spelled M-A-T-A, pronounced Mata. Now the Tahitian, the Samoan, the Fijian, and the Tongan, as well as the Maori, substitutes the letter T for the letter K in our language, the letter R for the letter L in our language, but the words basically translate to mean the same. So in Tahiti, like in Malaysia, the word is Mata, spelled M-A-T-A. The word for 5 in Hawaii is Lima, spelled L-I-M-A. In Malaysia, it's the same word. Now, the biologist says that as they explored the Pacific Ocean, some of the plants that they carried with them were the coconut. That which was husked was used as drinking water. Unhusked, it was used for planting. The sweet potato was cooked, wrapped in the leaf of the pandanus, or what we call hala, and then stored in gourds. The breadfruit was buried in dirt in gourds to slow down the fermentation of the fruit. 2 Polynesian plants, the kukui nut and the noni, was carried for medicinal purposes.